Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at a scenario where Egypt makes an empire. So recently, recently I've done South Africa and Saudi Arabia. So we're already in the area. Let's go and do Egypt. Let's begin with the Egyptian declaration of war on Libya, and this is a perfect time to mention that this is supposed to be an unrealistic scenario. Here we're going to be giving Egypt a new government, and we're going to be assuming a few things so that a few countries maybe don't join the war against Egypt so that it's all in their favor. With that, Egypt is now starting to push into northern Libya, which is of course the only area that's actually heavily populated, near the coastline. The rest of this is the Sahara Desert. So Egypt's not going to go through that, and with the fall of Tripoli, something like that, Libya surrenders. With that, Egypt is actually not going to annex this country. It is of decent size, and although honestly it wouldn't be that big of an issue if Egypt did annex them, they won't be completely annexing them. Only about half of the country. I didn't want it to go that far in. They're going to be annexing a lot of the Saharan parts of Libya, as Libya doesn't really care for them, and nobody's going to blame Egypt for this war as, well, let's just say Egypt has a lot more global power and influence, and nobody's really supporting these countries. With that, Egypt has annexed about half of Libya, and the rest of it has been given independence. The next war is going to be on Sudan, but in this war, in real life, Egypt is already, I think, the strongest militarily in Africa, stronger than Libya and Sudan, but now with this new land from Libya, they are just even more powerful, and they will easily be able to push into Sudan. They, of course, begin to push throughout all the border, but if you don't know the situation, Sahara Desert, more desert. Egypt is going to begin to push down the Nile River, which is Sudan's most important waterway, along with the coastline, which is, of course, where a lot of population is as well. With the fall of the coast and the majority of the Nile River, Sudan surrenders, and Egypt is once again going to drop a peace treaty. This isn't too big of an issue for them to hold. It's all Arabic, it's all Muslim, but they still don't want to take too much land as it could cause some issues, to say the least. So yeah, they're going to be annexing about half the country, including the entire coastline. So it's going to be bad, but at least Sudan still exists. They also make two deals with countries that surround them. From Chad, they spend they don't spend very much money. This isn't very important land, but they buy out a lot of northern Chad from the Chinese government. Didn't mean to do that. That's supposed to be that, and that's supposed to be that. So yeah, now that they have bought some northern Chad, they're also going to go ahead and buy themselves some of Eritrea. A very small country here. They don't even buy it. They just threaten to kill if they do not agree to their peace terms, and they decide to agree. They decide to actually leave Eritrea with some land, as they do not want to border Ethiopia, but this ends up backfiring when Ethiopia annexes whatever's left of Eritrea. Ethiopia also goes ahead and annexes Djibouti and takes over Somalia, as they are going to be Egypt's rival here, and Egypt's main goal is going to be to stay stronger than Ethiopia. So yeah, they have a rival down here in Ethiopia, but besides that, they're having a pretty easy time pushing around these smaller African countries. They're buying land left and right, they're taking land left and right, and overall it's going very well for them. In the future, they're already assumed, you can predict what the country's economy is going to be in a few years, but yeah, with all this new land, Egypt is definitely growing into a global superpower. They are now just incredibly powerful here. From here, they decide to get that sweet revenge on Israel, and although the Israelis fight back, this new Egyptian, country is incredibly powerful, and against some of the Arab world's questions, they declare war on Palestine, which causes Jordan to join in. And with Jordan joining in, we have Saudi Arabia. This kind of ignites the new Gulf Shield Pact. And yeah, a lot of the Arab world is joining in against Egypt, who they originally saw as an ally who's there to help them. But they are now seeing as a country who cares about nothing but expanding, which, let's be honest, is kind of true. They are trying to make an empire here. After taking out Israel and Palestine, they quickly push into Jordan and capitulate that country. They have some issues on the border of Saudi Arabia, but using their superior navy, they push down the Saudi Arabian coast. They also have control of the Suez Canal, which can heavily hurt Saudi Arabia's economy, as they can now no longer get gas into Europe, or mainly just Europe. It's gonna hurt, but not as much as this is, as the Egyptian army has been specifically trained for desert-like conditions, which is perfect for them in this war, specifically against Saudi Arabia and other Arab countries. From here, we see a few countries try and join in, including Lebanon. Oh, they're gone. Iraq and Iran might join in, but considering that it's Saudi Arabia, they would not. And considering how Egypt is absolutely destroying all these countries, once again, they would not. I don't think any of them are that stupid. But yeah, Egyptian troops are now floating into Saudi Arabia. They capture Mecca and eventually capture Riyadh. With this fall of Saudi Arabia, Kuwait follows, followed by Qatar. Then the UAE and Oman agreed to some Egyptian peace terms. Alright, let's go and draw in these final borders, as they're going to be taking a lot of land, to say the least. They're going to be taking a lot of land, specifically out of Saudi Arabia, and a good amount of land out of Jordan, Israel annexing Palestine. They also do a little thing with Saudi Arabia, which is basically give some land over to Oman and the UAE. This was a part of the peace terms, along with Qatar, to form two Middle Eastern protectorates. One with Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, and one with Qatar, a tiny bit of Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Oman. Let's go and color in all these countries white, as they are now no longer in the war. And overall, this has hurt the Arabs' economy, as Saudi Arabia, together with Kuwait, are now just full-on Egyptian puppet. Along with Jordan, whatever's left of Israel and Palestine, who honestly, they may not get along in real life, but here they're going to be forced into uniting into one puppet, as they are far too weak to be left alone. Kind of ugly borders, but they might eventually annex Syria as well. Actually, they do puppet Syria, as they intervene in the civil war with Egypt's own side, and that side ends up winning. The world frowns upon some of these things, but overall, this is Egypt's empire, and nobody bothers stopping them. Let's go ahead and finish drawing in these borders, and we can see what the Egyptian empire looks like after expanding. Actually, they're going to take a bit more land, and that is buying Crete off of Greece and annexing Cyprus. This is just to give them some more naval control, as they don't want to be seen as some poor African country. They would like to be seen as a African superpower, who technically they have a good amount of land in Asia now, so. Yeah, they're trying to do this to show, hey, we're stronger than some European countries. Hey, we got an economy, we got a military. And holy crap, do they. With their puppets of Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, and a semi-puppet down here in the UAE, Oman, and Qatar. Their oil production, amazing. Just absolutely insane. They might eventually go for Iran and Iraq as well. Just gonna expand upon that sweet, sweet oil production. And they already have a lot of it within their own borders. So yeah, here we have these final Egyptian empire borders. When it comes to navy, they control majority of the Red Sea and a lot of the southeastern Mediterranean. But I do hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.